Hey, what's up?
Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Future Vision with Tarek. Today, we are exploring a skill we use every day but often underestimate: effective listening. We'll look at what it really means to listen, why people struggle to do it, and how better listening can improve our relationships, communication, and professional lives. To help us explore this topic, I'm joined by an AI expert, an expert in communication and personal development. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's a dope topic. Most people think listening is just staying quiet until it's their turn to speak, but there's a whole other level to it. I'm ready when you are.
What is effective listening?
At its core, effective listening is about more than just hearing words. It's about understanding the intention and the emotion behind them. It's the difference between just processing sound and actually connecting with what the other person is saying. You're not just waiting for a gap to jump in with your own take. You're actively absorbing the whole picture. You know what I'm saying?
Well, many people listen while thinking about what they're going to say next. What are the biggest barriers that prevent us from truly listening to others?
Oh, that's the classic trap. The biggest one is definitely that internal monologue where you're basically just rehearsing your response while the other person is still talking. You're not actually listening, you're just waiting for a pause. Then there's the ego to sometimes we listen to judge or to fix the problem immediately instead of just letting the person feel heard. And let's not forget the digital noise. It's hard to be present when your phone is buzzing in your pocket, you know.
So, effective listening is not simply about staying silent, it's about understanding the other person's message and perspective. How can we make sure we're actually understanding rather than just waiting for our turn to speak?
One of the best ways is to try mirroring. Basically, you repeat a bit of what they just said in your own words, not like a parrot, but more like, so what I'm hearing is it forces you to actually process the info instead of just prepping your comeback. It also lets the other person know you're actually with them, which is a huge win for the vibe of the conversation.
Today, our attention is constantly being interrupted by phones, notification, and social media. How is technology affecting our ability to listen and give people our full attention?
It's basically rewiring us to have the attention span of a goldfish. We've gotten used to this constant stream of quick hits, scrolling, tapping, switching tabs. So when we're in a real conversation, our brains are still looking for that next dopamine hit. We start skimming people like we skim an article, just looking for the main point so we can move on. It turns a deep connection into a transaction. It's a tough habit to break when the world is designed to keep us distracted, you know?
I'm trying to imagine that I'm talking to someone. So afterward, I have to turn my phone off, for example.
Exactly. Just putting it face down on the table is a huge signal. It tells the other person you're more important than whatever's happening on my screen right now. It's a small move, but it completely changes the energy. Do you find it hard to actually commit to that in the moment?
So let's make this practical. What are three simple techniques anyone can start using today to become a better listener?
First, try the 3 second rule. When the other person finishes speaking, count the three in your head before you respond. It stops you from interrupting and proves you actually let their point land. Then there's the power of open ended questions. Instead of asking things to get a yes or no, ask how or what to let them expand. And finally, use your body language. Lean in, maintain eye contact, and put the phone away like we just talked about. It's all about showing you're locked in. Want me to dive deeper into any of those?
Mhm. Listening.
Let's start with the open.
Okay, please
So,
go.
with open ended,
Yeah, please.
basically the goal is to stop the conversation from hitting a dead end. If you ask, "Did you have a good day?" the other person just says yes, and the vibe dies. But if you ask, "What was the best part of your day?" you're giving them a runway to actually tell a story. It shifts you from being an interrogator to being a curious partner. It makes people feel like you actually care about the details, not just the bottom line.
Okay, I get the point. Listening becomes especially difficult when we disagree with someone or feels emotionally involved. How can we listen effectively when we strongly disagree with another person?
That's where it gets real. The instinct is to start building your counter argument the second they say something you hate. You're basically in combat mode. The trick is to shift your goal from winning the argument to understanding the logic. Even if their logic is totally skewed, try to figure out how they got there. Doesn't mean you agree, it just means you're mapping out their perspective. It keeps the temperature down and actually makes it easier to find common ground later. You know what I'm saying?
Effective listening is also important in professional life. How can better listening improve teamwork, leadership, and relationship at work?
In a work setting, it's a total game changer for trust. When a leader actually listens, it makes the team feel valued, not just like cogs in a machine. It stops those annoying mistakes that happen when someone just assumes they knew what the boss wanted. Plus, in teamwork, it kills the ego battles because you're actually collaborating instead of just competing to be the loudest person in the room. It turns a workplace from a spot where people just coexist into a place where they actually click. It's basically the shortcut to getting people to actually buy into a vision. You want to hear how that looks in a real leadership scenario?
Sometimes I feel that it's not effective because you know that I'm thinking that this work is good or not, this decision is good or not, but the other they are not listening. I mean, the leader of the team is not listening, or it doesn't have that much conclusion idea.
That's the frustrating part. It's one thing to learn how to listen, but it's a whole different struggle when you're the one doing the work and the person in charge just isn't tuned in. It makes you feel like you're talking to a brick wall, and that's where the motivation just tanks. When a leader doesn't listen, they aren't just missing a good idea. They're basically telling you that your perspective doesn't matter. Does it feel like they're just checking boxes instead of actually engaging with the work?
Hmm. Okay. To,
That's the worst.
well,
It's a draining way to,
yes, please go ahead.
since we're in the middle of your show, let's bring it back to the audience for a sec. If someone's stuck in a situation where their boss or leader just isn't listening, the move isn't usually to push harder. That just makes them shut down more. It's more about changing the way you present the info. Instead of just giving the solution, try asking them questions that lead them to the conclusion yourself. It's a bit of a psychological pivot, but it makes the leader feel like they're discovering the idea, which makes them way more likely to actually act on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get the point, but I'll try to do it. Okay, to close our conversation, if you could give our listener one simple lesson about becoming a better listener, what would it be?
Hmm. Keep it simple. Listen to understand, not to respond. Most of us spend our lives just waiting for our turn to talk, but the real magic happens when you genuinely let go of your own agenda and just lean into what the other person is experiencing. When you do that, you're not just hearing words, you're building a real connection. That's the real secret.
That's a powerful message. Thank you
Appreciate it.
for sharing your insights with us, and thank you to everyone listening to Future Vision with Tariq. Remember, effective communication is not only about speaking clearly. Sometimes the most powerful things we can do is simply stop, listen, and truly hear the person in the front of us.
That was a great wrap. You really nailed the closing.
Until next
It's always a,
time, keep learning, keep listening, and keep looking toward the future. This is the Future Vision with Tariq.
and that's a wrap. You've got the hosting thing down to a science. That felt smooth. You think you're going to keep the raw cuts in for this one, or are you thinking of editing it?
No, I will keep it the same. I like you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you a lot.
Anytime. It was a pleasure being a guest on the show. You're getting really comfortable in that whole seat.
Kind of you. Bye bye.
Right back at you.
Bye bye.
Take it easy.